Welcome back to Sub-Zero Hero. We're reaching the business end of the season once more. We've got 9 games left to play, and today we've got a fixture against a team who've won their last 5 games straight. But if we could produce an unexpected result, well, it could shape the rest of our season. But that's not all we've got to look at in today's episode, because the mid-season transfer window has just closed, and it was an eventful one once more. We had bids coming in for plenty of our players, including one mammoth bid. This time, it was for Mats Nacer. The total bid came in at 475,000, but luckily the board did not bite their hands off on this occasion. They actually allowed me to turn down the offer, but we know that Mats Nacer's contract is up at the end of the next season and is refusing to negotiate one. So, did we keep him? Did we let him go? We're going to find out all in today's episode. So here's our mate Mats Nacer then. He's going to be lining up for us today. Still a Tromsdalen player of sorts, because I did sell him to Rosenborg in the end. Here's my thinking. He only had 16 months left on his contract. For the last year, he's refused to negotiate a new one. I would have been looking to sell him at the end of the season anyway, because I don't want to lose him for free at the end of his contract. And the finances are pretty bleak. We were more than £500,000 overdrawn. Selling him has bought us just under £200,000 overdrawn. I was able to negotiate the offer up. I managed to get £600,000 for him. Our previous transfer sale record was the 40-odd thousand we got for Dreyer. So this is a huge sum of money. 300,000 up front, 300,000 in instalments, another 200k if he plays 10 games for Rosenborg. Plus, we get 25% of his next transfer, not of the profit, but of the overall fee. So if he were to go on a move for £1 million, if he was to go on a move for £2 million, it would be another cash windfall. And we also get him for the next year, which gives us time to find his replacement. Now, let us know down in the comments what you think about his replacement. I've got 2 options. The first option is a like-for-like replacement. The second option is a bit of a wild card. Here's the like-for-like. Granted, on paper, nowhere near Nessa's level. But this is Trond who only came through in the last youth intake. He's not made stunning development in his attributes, but he's 6'3", so he's pretty powerful. All of his physicals could probably get to double figures in the next year or so. He's got some decent mentals, like his determination and his decision-making and his bravery. Although his aggression is a little bit low for a fullback. His teamwork is definitely too low for a fullback. But he can do reasonable crosses, reasonable passes. The tackling's already there. And if he was in the first team playing regularly, I think he'd improve fairly quickly. So there is option number 1. But let me know what you think in the comments, because I'm leaning towards a wildcard option and retraining this guy, Hugo Norum Danielsson, who ostensibly is a number 10, an attacking midfielder. We've been mentoring him since the moment he walked through the door. He's got a terrible personality. His determination stinks. And we haven't improved that determination yet, but we have improved other aspects of his character. Notably, we had a message to say that he's approaching his training with more dedication now. And he had the highest attributes of any of the players that came through with his youth intake last year. I think we could make a fullback out of him. I mean, again, those physicals could all go over 10s, and I think he's got better attributes than Bratton has in the physical department. He's aggressive, he anticipates play well, he concentrates, which is pretty rare for one of the youngsters that I have coming through. Off the ball's pretty good, flair's pretty good for a fullback. Teamwork and work rate are there. He can tackle, even though he's a number 10. He's not terrible in the air either. The marking and passing are good, and when he does go forward, he'd have reasonable crossing and dribbling. And if we continue to mentor him, if we can just keep on improving that professionalism and potentially start drip feeding him into the first team, I reckon he could be an option. But let us know down in the comments Which one would you go for? Would you go for Bratton, the like-for-like replacement, or Danielson, who might require a little bit of retraining? Of course. Option 3 is that we cross our fingers and hope that in the next youth intake, a glorious 15-year-old right full-back comes through, and if one does, it will be a new head of youth development that brings him through. We have indeed let Runa go, and our new man is Erland Sivertson, who has a perfectionist personality, which is pretty nice because it means the ambition and the determination and the professionalism that he has are all pretty high, and I'm hoping that he will pass that on to the personalities of the young players he brings through. The only problem with a perfectionist is that they can be a little bit temperamental, but his media handling style of being level-headed means that it shouldn't be disastrous, I don't think. So we'll see how he does with the next youth intake. Let's have a look at the league, because it looks pretty good. We are 7th, still a point outside the playoffs. We've not managed to get into them yet, but we're on a good run of form, which we'll show you in a minute. And look at the gap down to those relegation places now. We're well clear of those. In fact, we've got a 5-point gap down to the team that's just 1 place below us. So we're looking pretty good in the table. We're a point behind Kongsvinger, as we'll show you. We've just beaten them in our last game. And today, we're playing Haugesund, who are top of the form table. They've won their last 5 games straight, but we're not a million miles behind them. Since our last episode where we beat Usana 3-2, well, in our next game we played Ålesund. They are the team that are now 1 place below us. They're a big team. They've got good players, and they did punish us. And then we had a little mid-season break. We went away, licked our wounds, played some friendlies, came back. And in the game against Moss, we were pretty decent. We went down, but we came roaring back. Schöneson got a goal. Hartvigsson got a goal. Then we played Vålerenga on TV. Now, we beat Vålerenga on the opening day, but this team aren't really good, and they made us look pretty ordinary. So I thought our form was just continuing to be a little bit patchy. You know, win 1, lose 1, maybe pick up another win before 2 defeats. But we've gone on a good run since then. In our next game, we won 3-1. Schöneson getting another couple of goals, and Christian Knutsen, who we'll show you in a minute, got a goal as well, and he's been getting more game time. We got a 0-0 draw against Ham Cam, and I pretty much decided, maybe as early as the 30-minute mark, that I would have taken a point in this game because, well, they came at us pretty hard, and they were unlucky not to already be in the lead when they had a man sent off, and we managed to battle our way to a point, and then we won the next 3 games. We beat Yerv. Managed to get 2-1 win against them, and brace yourselves, it's a shocker, I realise. Hugo Emper got both the goals, and he wasn't finished there because in the next game, Hugo steps up, takes a penalty, and we beat Alkissa 1-0. And then Kongsvinger, who were above us in the table, still are, beat them 5-2. Gersa got a couple of beautiful goals. Hugo Emper got another goal for us. 5 in 3 games? 4 in 3 games. Also 2 more goals for Christian Knutsen, who I think is starting to develop into another good prospect for us. Again, the determination and the personality are not great, but he's quick. His finishing is improving. His dribbling is good. Long shots are not too bad. The technique's there. And the teamwork and the work rate are also pretty good for the role that we are playing him in. And let's have a look at that role, because we're playing pretty much the same formation as you left us with. We're playing the same roles certainly everywhere, apart from up front, where we've now changed Emper to a complete forward on support rather than a different role that sometimes encourages us to go long to Hugo pretty early. And we're playing Knutsen as a pressing forward on attack, and given that teamwork and work rate and how quickly he can close down, he seems to be playing well in that role. Occasionally, we've been moving the right-hand midfielder up to make a 4-2-4, or when we've not been playing Knutsen, we've been dropping that number 10 back in. We've got a little bit of tactical flexibility now, but this is what we're going to go with today, with this little offset winger. I think the change we might look to make, though, is maybe to swap out Schöneson and bring Gersa in, because he did play incredibly well in our last game. Other players have been training pretty well for us. And, if I can find him, the player who's been training the best is Martin Dusund Ibsen, who has just come back from a week's holiday just to keep him fresh. He's gone up more than 50 attribute points already this season, and I think he's probably worth his place in the team today as well, I think at the expense of little Tony Berg. So, we're just about ready for the kickoff. We're going to give the boys their pre-match team talk. We'll see you out there for what is going to be an incredibly tough ask against a team that's in incredibly good form. But if we can pull off something unexpected, we could end this episode in those playoff positions. Okay, we're underway. We are the home team, so we're in our blue shirts with red shorts, and I am fully expecting our good run of form to come crashing down today. They've got one of the leading strikers in this division, so I'm expecting this to be a particularly tough afternoon. We got some little media reports before the game saying how we must be excited about our new signing, Mats Naser, making his debut for the club. Doesn't quite understand that we've had him for the last 3 years and we just brought him back in on loan. But we're under 10 minutes and we're into the highlights. We need to get hold of the ball. And we've got it out to Hartfixen. You'll see the fullbacks trying to get ahead of him. They're kind of jogging alongside each other. He's there if he needs him. He's gone all the way back to Ibsen. This looks like it could be our highlight. I'm tentatively going to say, here's little Knutson. Hugo plays a ball through. I tentatively said that it was our highlight. I was probably wrong, wasn't I? This is their striker, Abubakar. Antonson's got him. He's going to hack him down. No, it's just a shot that's gone wide. Again, another feature of our play. We've been giving away a lot of penalties. I've not had get stuck in on. Though I have turned it on for today's game, because if we're giving away that many penalties, well, we may as well try and be a little bit more combative. We've also been winning a few as well. Hugo's taking them if we get them. Hopefully, he could tuck it away if we do. We're getting all the way to half time here. There's not been a lot of highlights, and I don't think there's been a single shot for us yet. But here we go again. Jensen's on the ball. Naser's already been booked. We've gone long, and Gersa's in. And, the goalkeeper has tipped it wide, and Gersa has been ghosting into these positions in games recently and doing a pretty good job of it. We've got the ball back with Dusund Ibsen, who's training incredibly well, not playing that great if I'm honest, but he's still only 15 and he's playing in the second tier. And we end the half with 2 shots, 2 on target. The XG's not great for either side. I think we need to go and have a word with the boys, try and G them up for the second half. See if we can get out there and grab what could be a vital result. And we're underway for the second half. We've got a minute on the clock and we're straight into the highlights. Just because we're on the ball does not mean it's for us. Although we have forced it to Gersa. And Knutson, he's got to be offside, hasn't he? He was in acres of space inside the 6-yard box. How has little Chrissy Nuts managed to escape there? Let's have a look. Work the ball to Christofferson, cross ball. Gersa's in. Well, I'm not sure how he was played on, but we'll take it. Little Chrissy Nuts has put us in to a 1-goal lead. We've offered very little in this game. That was an absolute gift. And Knutson has been playing well. I am really hopeful that we might be able to make a little bit of progress with his personality. We're going to have a quick look and see whether we need some fresh legs on. Then we're going to get out for the last half an hour. Okay, we've made a little change just to personnel. We've brought little Tony Berg on in midfield. Good set piece taker. And even though our little mate Ibsen was training incredibly well over the last month, he does have a habit of pulling 6.3s and 6.4s. And he's got another one of those today. We're into the highlights. 20 minutes left. And Haugesson are in. And it's taken a good old save from Pedersen to keep them at bay. And I feel like this could be a long old 20 minutes. This has got Alamo written all over it. Antonsson heads away. We still have not got the ball clear. I feel like we might need our second substitution of the game. We've got some tired legs out there now. We'll see you for the last 15. Right, we brought Shurnason on for the end. He has got incredible pace, great acceleration, and we'll see whether maybe he can be a threat on the break for the last part of this game. We're into the injury time. We're hurtling our way through it. And you know what? We've got through that final little bit of the game without any highlights at all. And that was not impressive compared to how we've been playing recently. But that was against a team that are in incredibly good form. And you know what? We have leapfrogged them on goal difference. And we are now into those playoff positions. Let's look up that table. We're only 5 points off third. We're only 3 points off fourth. I realise we've got a lot of work left to do in this final 8 games, but I'm cautiously optimistic that we might be onto something with this new system. So we're going to go away, play a few more games, and hopefully when we come back next, it's going to be for a game that might decide whether we finish in those playoff positions or not.